turbulence in the relationship between Canada and the U.S. continues to drive down travel to the U.S.
When it comes for vacation, I think there's other places I would rather go.
The number of Canadians crossing the Canada-U.S. border has reached COVID-era lows.
10 major airlines just pulled out of the U.S., and nobody stopped them. International tourism is crashing. Airports are going dark. And Trump's critics? They're dead silent. But wait until you hear why this collapse is happening and who's quietly celebrating. Are we watching the U.S. become a no-go zone for global travelers? Let us know in the comments. Have you noticed fewer tourists or cut flight routes in your city? Summer 2025 was supposed to be the great comeback. But walk into any major U.S. airport today, and you'll feel it. Empty gates.
Don't come to America right now. I mean, all the obvious reasons why, but this is not safe for you. I just heard about 2 German young men who flew in to Honolulu Airport who were detained by ICE. They were questioned for hours. They were strip searched, naked, strip searched. They were placed in green jumpsuits and they were put in a holding cell with criminals. Don't come here. It's not safe. It's not safe for me. I'm born and raised here. It's not safe for me. It's definitely not safe for you. Please, 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 please. Don't come here right now.
America's tourism crisis nobody's talking about. Foreign visitors are abandoning the U.S. in record numbers, and it's costing billions. Oxford Economics predicts an $8.5 billion drop in international visitor spending this year, while the World Travel and Tourism Organization estimates an even more alarming $12.5 billion loss. The proof? Flight bookings to the U.S. between May and July have already plummeted by over 10%. This isn't just a blip, it's a trend with massive economic consequences. While other destinations flourish, America is losing its appeal to global travelers. What's driving this exodus? And can the U.S. tourism industry recover before it's too late?
If you're planning your next holiday, there are a lot of places to choose from, but one that is falling out of fashion is the US. Since Donald Trump took office, America has reported a dramatic drop in the number of international tourists, and it's impacting the country's bottom line. In the usually warm month of June, tourist arrivals remained frosty, falling 6%. It continued a trend that has seen a decline in visitor numbers year on year since the start of 2025.
So Americans, rich and poor, are packing their bags and leaving the United States of America. From the first 6 months of this year compared to the first 6 months of last year, Americans moving to other countries has increased by 90%.
So a lot of people have refused to visit the US. The summer, I think the summer has ended right now, right? Or the summer is still on, but about to end. And lots of people have decided that US is not a place for them to visit anymore for the next 3-4 years, okay, till the next administration takes over, right? Some of them are like, if you even have to be Republican again, they still might not have to come to the US. With the whole policies that are currently being passed by the current administration, a lot of people are boycotting the US, and it's costing the country a lot of money as well, because they make a lot of money from tourism, especially during this whole this period. But somehow they are not even seeing that money because people have decided to try other countries. Well, I have other clips for you guys. Let me just let them roll, then I'll come back with the commentary. Do let me know what you all think in the comment section. Credit to all creators on this video. Let's go watch.
The American dream is so dead, people don't even want to pass it on to their own kids.
Hello guys, welcome back again to another episode. Now, white folks are finally realizing what black people have known for decades, because the system they built is turning on them. Airports are becoming empty, businesses are now collapsing, and the same financial pain they once mocked others for is now knocking right at their doorsteps. Let's talk about it, guys. And before that, let's watch these clips, guys, then come back and have a chat.
At the end of this video, I'm going to show you the actual clip that's playing in airports right now. It's just, you just have to see it. So here's what's happening. The government is literally running a political message in US airports. Yeah. While TSA workers are still unpaid because of the shutdown, travelers are standing in lines watching a video that says, Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the government, and because of this, many of our operations are impacted, and most TSA employees are working without pay. Are you fucking kidding me? The Department of Homeland Security actually approved this video. It's being played in major airports across the country. Taxpayer money, our money, being used to air partisan messages in public places people cannot opt out of. That's not accountability. That's propaganda with a budget. And here's the part that should freak everyone out. If they can do this now, every administration can do it later. Left, right, it does not matter. Because once you normalize political messaging, it never goes away. All right, like I promised, here's the clip. Watch it for yourself.
I'm Christy Nome, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. It is TSA's top priority to make sure that you have the most pleasant and efficient airport experience as possible while we keep you safe. However, Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the federal government, and because of this, many of our operations are impacted, and most of our TSA employees are working without pay. We will continue to do all that we can to avoid delays that will impact your travel.
This is the U.S. departures area of Montreal's Trudeau Airport, which is particularly quiet at the height of summer. And one of the most visible signs Canadians are staying away. Traveling to the U.S. under Donald Trump can carry a lot of emotional baggage.
He created an atmosphere that's very hostile for us.
So it is a ghost town.
For many along John's Pass, business has been falling short.
It's the slowest year we've had since 2020.
Perhaps Florida has never been this quiet. Florida, the land that millions of Canadians once called their second home, now seems to be losing its own warmth. So, what really happened? Why has the south of the Canadian winter turned into a symbol of crisis? Let's dive into the layers of this story together. Mornings in Miami or Orlando used to be the sight Canadians longed for after months of freezing weather. Loudspeakers echoing through terminals, sunlight pouring through giant glass windows, and streams of travelers pulling their luggage in long lines. That was once the familiar rhythm of a seasonal migration. Yet in recent months, that scene seems to have changed. Florida was once a place Canadians jokingly called their second South. Every winter, over 1 million Canadians would come to escape the snow, injecting billions of dollars into the local economy. But this year, that stream seems to be slowing. According to CBS Miami, international arrivals to Florida in the first quarter of 2025 dropped by about 13% compared to the same period last year. Canadian visitors, the most important group, fell nearly 16%. A report from Visit Florida shows that the state welcomed 34.4 million visitors in the second quarter, but the vast majority, 91.5%, were domestic tourists, while Canadians made up only 1.9%. At first glance, this slight decline might seem small, but for those who understand Florida's tourism, it signals something deeper. The winter flight routes from Toronto, Montreal or Calgary appear to be weakening. Fort Lauderdale Hollywood Airport saw passenger numbers drop by 11.1%, while Miami International fell by 1.6%, marking the first time since the pandemic that international flight traffic declined across the board. Some say the reasons may start with economics. Rising fuel costs and airport surcharges have pushed ticket prices to Florida up 15-25% in just 2 years. Airlines such as Air Canada and WestJet are said to have reduced direct flights to Orlando and Tampa. For retired Canadians, those used to flying south for the sun as a winter ritual, these rising costs could make them think twice. Meanwhile, tensions between Florida's state government and the US federal administration seem to be creating invisible disruptions. Shifting visa rules, tourism taxes, and temporary labor policies have made it harder for airlines to maintain consistent flight schedules. Some even say politics has started to interfere with flight paths, something once unthinkable for tourism, but now increasingly real. According to Statistics Canada, the number of Canadian air passengers travelling to the US in August 2025 dropped 11.2% year over year, reflecting a systematic pullback rather than a short-term trend. So, what do people think is the reason for Canadians not coming back? The cost is not the reason people aren't going. Canada's exchange rate hasn't changed significantly in 15 years, and prices in the US are not significantly higher this year compared to last year. It is the actions of the US GovET that is keeping tourists away. International tourists are staying away because of threats of war on America's close allies, tariff bonanza totally out of control, bad-mouthing most heads of states and countries, except Russia. In the Western, being arrested with valid visa, getting your phone searched, the list goes on. It's not about prizes or tariffs. We are not contributing to an upcoming fascist regime. And we don't want to spend a lot of money on a visa and flight tickets, and being detained by border security because of a meme or any critical comment on your dear leader, being put into custody for a Facebook post, handcuffed, detained, kept in jail for days or even weeks. USA is never a value for money for traveling. Before you even eat an item, you have to pay 20% tips on top of the full amount. Why would I want to pay 20% tips when the service is bad? I'll rather go to a country like Japan, where I don't pay a single tips and still get the best service throughout. Go figure it out. The country made its money by tourism, yes, but also Americans benefited by the illegal immigrants cause of their cheap labor, skills, styles, and diligence. America didn't appreciate the diversity and treated those of color like criminals. America, the land of liberty and freedom. No, not anymore. Many years to build that reputation, and you destroyed that in less than a year. The rest of the world is suddenly seeing America's true face, and they don't like what they see. The warm welcome has been replaced by suspicion and only grudging admittance. Tourists are perceived as politically untrustworthy and even as potential threats. Visitors are to be parted from their money as quickly and thoroughly as possible. The thin veneer of glamour has been completely worn away by time. Strength of the dollar is the largest issue. But throw in the crazy tipping culture, taxes and fees being on top of advertised prices. The most useless airports I've come across in years, and a frequent shitty attitude towards foreigners. And the decline isn't just in the skies.
Amazing news. Several airports refuse to air Department of Homeland Security video, blaming Democrats for the shutdown. So according to Forbes, at least 5 U.S. airports will not air a politicized video message from Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. In the video, she blames the government shutdown on Democrats. But a legal expert tells Forbes the video does not violate the Hatch Act, which restricts federal employees from some kinds of partisan messaging, usually during elections. But the 5 airports that are refusing to air the videos are Portland International in Oregon, Seattle Tacoma in Washington, and a trio of airports in New York. Surprised California hasn't jumped in yet, but still, they're basically propaganda videos. Some of the people running the airports say things like, the video is inappropriate, unacceptable, and inconsistent with the values we expect from our nation's top public officials. The Trump administration has been airing the video at airports across the country since Thursday, according to Reuters. So let's hope more airports follow suit and stop spreading propaganda like we're some third world country. And shame on Kristi Noem, Homeland Security, and this entire administration.
I just heard about 2 German young men who flew in to Honolulu Airport who were detained by ICE. They were questioned for hours. They were strip searched, naked, strip searched. They were placed in green jumpsuits, and they were put in a holding cell with criminals. Don't come here. It's not safe. It's not safe for me. I'm born and raised here. It's not safe for me. It's definitely not safe for you. Please, 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 please. Don't come here right now.
America's tourism crisis nobody's talking about. Foreign visitors are abandoning the U.S. in record numbers, and it's costing billions. Oxford Economics predicts an $8.5 billion drop in international visitor spending this year, while the World Travel and Tourism Organization estimates an even more alarming $12.5 billion loss. The proof? Flight bookings to the US between May and July have already plummeted by over 10%. This isn't just a blip, it's a trend with massive economic consequences. While other destinations flourish, America is losing its appeal to global travelers. What's driving this exodus? And can the US tourism industry recover before it's too late?
If you're planning your next holiday, there are a lot of places to choose from, but one that is falling out of fashion is the US. Since Donald Trump took office, America has reported a dramatic drop in the number of international tourists, and it's impacting the country's bottom line. In the usually warm month of June, tourist arrivals remained frosty, falling 6%. It continued a trend that has seen a decline in visitor numbers year on year since the start of 2025.
So Americans, rich and poor, are packing their bags and leaving the United States of America. From the first 6 months of this year compared to the first 6 months of last year, Americans moving to other countries has increased by 90%.
New York, stop talking about how beautiful LaGuardia Airport is. Because my cheap ass spot is Spirit, and the Spirit terminal is not connected to the new airport. This might as well be connected to the MTA. Because as soon as you walk in, there's homeless people sleeping on the floor. Somehow they spend billions of dollars redoing this whole airport, forgetting this side right here, the Marina Air Terminal. While you Delta flyers are flying through beautiful lounges, food halls with the restaurants, I'm on the Spirit side, freezing my butt off because the AC's at high, waiting for the Dunkin' Donut Express to open. That's the only option of food on the Spirit side. Look at the Spirit side. We don't even have windows. Now look at the Delta section, the new terminal, the new airport. We're not even connected. Only thing good is the security is so fast because you're in the whole terminal. So stop being on this app. Tell me how good LaGuardia Airport is. Because
I'm not complaining. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm in the Atlanta airport and it's empty. It's like no one in here. I'm shocked. Apparently this is the busiest airport in the world. I believe that. I've been here 1,000 times. But today, it's not busy at all. There's so much negative space.
Recently, it seems that the United States has been witnessing an unprecedented phenomenon. A sharp decline in international tourism, with many major airports falling into a state of emptiness.
International arrivals to the U.S. are expected to fall about 9% this year. That drop is fueled by negative perceptions about recent changes to immigration policies here in America.
Stunning images of near-empty passenger planes are popping up on social media. These international flights have many tourists flying to the USA practically alone. This flight from Toronto to New York is also practically empty. And a flight from Toronto to Fort Myers, row after row of empty seats.
You're coming in from Montreal?
Yes.
And how was the flight full?
No, it was about 70% full.
Have you noticed amongst your fellow Canadians that they are less interested in coming here?
Yes, many of them.
Tourism to the U.S. is on the decline. The U.S. is set to lose $12.5 billion because of it.
Meanwhile, other aviation hubs such as Toronto, Dubai, and Singapore have recorded remarkable growth, attracting a large number of travelers who once chose the US as their main transit point. This shift, if it continues, may not only be a story about the aviation industry, but also a signal that the balance of global soft power is gradually changing. So why did the world's leading aviation nation lose its grip so fast? Was it tariffs, visa restrictions, a failure to adapt? Watch till the end to find out. Over the span of 3 years, from 2023 to 2025, the United States appears to have experienced a record drop in international visitors, with some airports reportedly losing as much as 60–80% of their traffic. If accurate, these figures could translate into billions of dollars in losses. Some estimates suggest that international tourism revenue alone has fallen by roughly $12.5 billion USD annually. For those who were once familiar with the image of bustling American airports, this reversal may come as an unexpected shock. It doesn't appear to be a short-term fluctuation, but rather a long-term trend, one that many believe has caused the US to gradually lose its status as the world's default gateway. Some analysts point to policies introduced during Donald Trump's presidency as a root cause. The imposition of new tariffs on multiple countries seems to have raised travel costs and created a sense of uncertainty among international visitors. Additionally, complex entry procedures and stricter control measures may have discouraged travelers. The image of the United States, once seen as open and welcoming, now, in the eyes of many outsiders, seems associated with populism, insularity, and an unwelcoming attitude. This perception, at least symbolically, appears to have made the US significantly less attractive to global tourists. As international visitors dwindle, the ripple effects seem to spread throughout the local economic ecosystem. Hotels report lower occupancy rates. Many bars and restaurants that relied on tourists have become noticeably quieter. Taxi and transport services, along with small businesses directly tied to international travel, may also find it difficult to sustain previous income levels. In some cities, municipal budgets could even face shortfalls as tourism-related tax revenues drop sharply. Here is what people has to say about what is happening. This isn't just about vacations. Trump's tariffs left US airports empty, while Toronto, Dubai, and Singapore are booming with travelers. A travel shock that just turned into an economic crisis. Trump's tariffs didn't just hit trade, they're gutting US tourism too. Empty airports are a symbol of how isolation costs real jobs and revenue.
We're back now with a look at the drop in the number of international tourists who are visiting the United States this year.
So a research note from Tourism Economics, which is part of Oxford Economics, says
here in California, international travel is predicted to decline by 9% this year, driven by higher tariffs imposed by the Trump administration and negative sentiment toward the U.S. You're coming in from Montreal?
Yes.
And how was the flight full?
No, it was about 70% full.
Have you noticed amongst your fellow Canadians that they are less interested in coming here?
Yes, many of them.
Compared year over year. Now, the exact reasons we should clarify are unclear, but February was the first date the president signed his first executive action to impose tariffs against Mexico, Canada, and China.
Sure. Yes, there is one single reason, but many reasons around that one person, President Donald Trump, the Trump effect, turning visitors off to the U.S. It's political with his populist agenda. It's economic with his tariffs that would raise.
Do you think some people are scared to come here because they hear the stories of tourists who are detained for a few days or even a week or two?
We treat our tourists great. We're the tourism capital of the world. There's no place like this, and there may be a little bit of nationalism, but I doubt it. I actually doubt it.
Happy Sunday to you. If you live in an American tourist hotspot, you might not have noticed it yet, but tourism to the U.S. is on the decline.
America's front doors have slammed shut. What used to be the world's busiest crossroads, airports like JFK, LAX, Miami, are now shells of their former selves. Empty halls, silent runways, ticket counters with no lines. From 2023 to 2025, international traffic didn't just slow, it collapsed by 60 to 80%. A superpower's gateways have turned into ghost towns. And the bill? $12.5 billion in lost international tourism this year alone. That's money no longer flowing into hotels, taxis, restaurants, and small businesses that depend on travelers. It's not just airports bleeding, it's Main Street America. Look closer. Travelers who once poured into New York, Los Angeles, Chicago are now landing somewhere else. Toronto, Dubai, Singapore. Global hubs that rolled out the red carpet while America rolled out tariffs and walls. Airlines followed the money. Emirates, Lufthansa, Singapore Airlines, once fixtures in U.S. Skies have shifted their routes to friendlier ground, and with them went millions of passengers. The images are jarring. Entire terminals half lit. Gates that once launched flights across the Atlantic now sit idle. Luggage carousels stop spinning. For the first time in decades, America is no longer the default gateway to the world. The question is no longer whether this is temporary. The question is, has the crown already been passed? Because airports are not just travel hubs. They are symbols of power, magnets for trade, and lifelines for communities. When they empty out, the shockwaves ripple far beyond aviation. They hit local jobs, city budgets, even America's reputation as the open door of the global economy. So why did the world's leading aviation nation lose its grip so fast? Was it tariffs, visa restrictions, a failure to adapt, or something deeper, an unwillingness to see that in the 21st century, isolation is as costly as war?
They announced Chicago O'Hare Airport, all flights will be canceled. They don't have enough crew for the air traffic controller. We're seeing this in California, Nashville, Chicago. It's spreading fast. It might just become a nightmare to travel for the next couple of weeks, if not longer, as long as the lockdown, or I should say shutdown of the government continues. These people, even though they would get, back pay, don't want to be working working without a paycheck. I wouldn't want to work without a paycheck. If there's a way to make money immediately, and you can do that by not being there at a job that they're telling you you're going to have to wait to get paid, I personally would go do the other job that would pay me right away. But that would be me. I don't know anybody's situation or what's going on there, if they just don't want to work, or they don't want to wait for back pay, or they have something better going on. Needless to say, traveling is going to get really, really hectic in the next.
When was anybody going to tell me that the Atlanta International Airport is literally a fashion show? Like, why didn't anybody tell me that I need to come with a beat face and with my best fit on? Because I usually go to a lot of different airports, but for some reason Atlanta is just different. Like, the people there are different. It's different from Miami, it's different from Houston, it's different from Vegas. Like, the people there are just different. Like, I feel like I just really have to put it on when I go there, and I definitely will not make that mistake again.
I told y'all once, I'm gonna tell y'all again, this government shutdown is very intentional. I will say it's intentional to Bible prophecy needing to be fulfilled. And I said that because last night, nearly 6,000 flights were literally delayed nationwide. And as air traffic controllers, the staffing shortages are growing. And it is spread to major airports. Now they're saying that the Burbank air control tower now has nobody. Zero people showed up. And let me tell you something. Y'all want people to work for free and life already hard? Who gonna work for free and life already hard? Nobody's going to do that. Quit playing with me. The devil be very doo-doo. I gotta say it that way because I want the devil be doo-doo. Y'all gonna call this government shutdown and you think people gonna work for free? Let me be an air traffic control. The first day y'all said government shutdown, I will not be there. I would have told my boss, I'm sorry, I'm telling you now, I'm calling in. I will not be there until they come back, because unless I'm getting paid. You think somebody gonna go sit at a stressful job? That job is stressful. They gotta make sure everybody in the air is safe. They gotta wake up early in the morning. They doing all kind of 3 a.m., 4 a.m. And you think somebody go be stressed out and not get paid? This is a ripple effect. I want y'all to understand what is happening. It is a ripple effect that is going to hit the economy. This was intentional. I need y'all to understand that. They know what they're doing. This is going on day 6, day 7 of them not working in the government now. And now you have the Burbank, 0 people didn't showed up. They didn't have so many call-ins. Ain't nobody. I would have been the first day. We look at the book of Revelation, the chapter, I believe the chapter is chapter 18. Now, this chapter basically details the future of Babylon. Go with me. It details Babylon the Great and the corruption of the economy. It goes on to talk about the political system that will undergo a sudden and devastating collapse, leading to the mourning of merchants worldwide. Nothing in this country that happens is coincidental. It is not by happenchance. Everything is on a prophetic calendar in the spirit realm. Okay, not naturally, but in the spirit realm. God's word has to be fulfilled in this earth, and it will. Because who working for free? I'm still on that. Who working for free? You gotta spend your gas. Some people work 30 minutes away. You gotta get up in the morning, spend your gas, have your lunch money. Who's doing that? Who's doing that again? In this economy, people pinching pennies to feed their families. And y'all talking about government shutdown and all these people. You think these people gonna work for free? No. This has always been the plan. Let me tell y'all what is getting ready to happen. I told y'all before, when I first heard it, I said, oh, this is very intentional and it's going to be longer than not. It's going to be longer than normal. There is certain people in place, if you know what I mean, catch it. The principal is in place to do exactly what he is doing. He's called to this thing. He is called to do exactly what he's doing. He is literally setting the stage for the Babylon and the economic system to collapse. It has to collapse. There has to be chaos. And this is what we are getting ready to see in this happening in this earth. Everybody think that this is political. Everybody think that this is something natural. No, it is spiritual. Whether you want to believe in God or not, he is real. He is very much so real. So now it's not just affecting the traffic controller jobs, but anybody who works at the airports, it is going to begin to affect them because so many flights are being canceled. It's going to affect the pilots. It's going to affect all the way through down the line, in which it will begin to affect our economy and other industries. Y'all think this man is setting order, but he's really setting chaos. And again, it's not have nothing to do with political. This is all spiritual, okay? Y'all think he's canceling all the corruption that was. Are you kidding me? The corruption is being added. He's just adding on to the list of the corruption. These people are not righteous. They are not righteous people. That's another thing that be blowing my mind. We're looking to these people as if they're righteous. You know them by the fruits that they bear. Chaos and confusion. That's what's being implemented. That is the fruit of this.
The so-called land of opportunity is now drowning in debt. Record bankruptcies are being filed from small towns to wealthy suburbs. Even middle-class white families who once felt untouchable are now losing everything, because many are shocked that the privileged cushions they thought they had is gone. The empty airport symbolizes collapse, because the once busiest airport now looks like a desert, a symbol of shrinking economy, because flights are cancelled, tourism is down, and people can't afford to travel anymore. The dream of luxury, vacations, and constant movement, it's fading fast. The silence in the airport mirrors the silence of a collapsing empire. We have to admit that for decades, the white Americans looked down on our struggling minorities, calling them lazy or financially irresponsible. Now that the system of greed and exploitation has now turned inwards, capitalism is eating its own children. The very people who benefited most from inequality are now being swallowed by the same system. And while America sinks, Africa, Asia, and the BRICS economies are beginning to stand taller. The Western financial dominance is being challenged by the BRICS. Empty airports in America currently symbolizes a collapsing economy. This isn't just an economic crisis. It is power shift to me. It is power shift to me. And the Babylon is like going. The Babylon is going down. They do say that siku ya nyani kufa miti zote huteleza. The day the monkeys die, all the trees cannot be hanged on. They are slippery. So that is Swahili proverb. So it means the Babylon is falling and no one can save it. Even the black Americans themselves cannot save the collapsing empire or the collapsing America. The same individualism narrative is breaking down. People are realizing that no one survives alone in a broken system, because the future will only belong to those who can adapt, those who can unite and build community wealth, not those still clinging to the privileges. And the fear that you see today in the white faces is a symbol of a collapsing economy or a symbol of a system losing power. Bankruptcies doesn't just mean lost money. They can mean lost confidence, lost privilege, and a changing world order. Now, the question is, will America finally learn humility or double down on denial? Please talk to me in the comment section. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. And of course, if you love our videos, please subscribe and leave us a comment in the comment section. Please join our membership for you to be part and parcel of this discussion. And of course, guys, may God bless you. Until we meet again, guys, in my next video, this is a guy from the motherland.